Welcome to CorkCon today for May 10th, 2019. This is the show where I give you a quick look at some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now. If you want to learn more about these stories though, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each story. You can read about them for yourself, come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing here. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. Well, there's been a lot of news today, but first a quick deal. Special thanks to Toast.net for offering a special deal to CorkCard's news readers. They're offering $10 off the first 6 months of your contract of any internet plan over $100 down. They offer fiber and DSL from AT&T resold with no data caps, US-based customer service, and all kinds of other great support there. Plus, they're not going to try to upsell you into crazy expensive bundles. So check out Toast.net. They're available all over the United States in areas AT&T offers, including Alabama to Wisconsin, Texas, Michigan, Missouri, and more. So special thanks to Toast.net for sponsoring this episode and supporting CorkCard's news readers by offering this great deal. All right, let's dive into the news. Bad news for Hulu subscribers who use an older iOS device. Hulu started contacting subscribers that use iOS 9.3.5, that's iOS 9.3.5 and older, saying that starting on June 12th, 2019, they will no longer support that. If I remember right, and somebody who is probably a lot more in tune with iOS and the differences there, is I believe in the older iPads, they only support 32-bit versions. The 64 ones now are the newer ones, which I believe are the versions after 9.3.5. Am I mistaken here? Leave me a comment. I didn't put that in the story, but I need to do more research on that to make sure that's correct. But I believe that may be the issue here is they're dropping support for the older 32-bit version. If you know a little bit more about iOS, if you're a bigger iOS fan and can tell me what the difference between the 9.3.5 excuse me, and the newer versions are, leave me a comment. I'll love to hear from you. But they say if you want to continue to use it, you'll need a newer device. Of course, it also will continue to work just fine on the Apple TVs, the Rokus, the Fire TVs, etc. This is specific to like iPads and iPhones that are running this older one. And it's been a while since they've had that version out. So if you have any of the more recent ones, you should be fine. In the About section of your iPhone or iPad and the settings, you will be able to find out what version you're running. All right, next story up. And again, if you know what the difference is, I think from my quick scanning of the internet is it's that difference between the 64 and the 32. But if there's another reason there, leave me a comment. I'll love to hear from you. All right, next story of the day. Pluto TV is going to expand device support, launch in a Latino version, and expand internationally. So today Viacom announced their second quarter 2019 earnings. Viacom runs on a different calendar schedule. So 2019 calendar year actually started late last year. So now they're entering this, they are reporting the second quarter. It's an accounting thing that a lot of businesses do to avoid having the Christmas season be right in the middle of their earnings period. But they announced a bunch of new things now that Viacom owns Pluto TV, and they included the fact that Pluto TV Latino is launching, which will reportedly launch in July of 2019, which will include a collection of US Hispanic channels that will be announced at a later date. Of course, probably a collection of on-demand content. That's all we know right now. Additional device support that, quote, according to Viacom, tens of millions of additional devices will be adding support for Pluto TV. I would suspect this is probably similar to the Viacom deal with, the Vizio deal with Pluto TV that allows them to go and offer kind of a branded version of Pluto TV on Vizio right there. There's other TV manufacturers that do this. Maybe they're expanding their partnership to put their app directly into some more of these iOS or these OSs made by people like Vizio on TVs. Hopefully more devices will get support. Most major streaming players have support. Most iOS, Android, etc. have support. So it'll be interesting to see where they can find tens of millions of additional devices without going to TV manufacturers. But they, they say that this will be coming out in additional months to come. And there will be more international launches. So Pluto is available in the UK, if I remember right. I expect that Latin America, according to this, will be one of the big ones. And it says additional markets coming and territories coming in 2020. Hopefully Canada. I know a lot of our Canadian readers reach out to us often wanting Pluto TV, not available there. Hopefully in 2020 you'll be one of the markets. Make sure to let your voice be heard. Reach out to Pluto and politely be like, hey, we see you're expanding internationally. We would love to have Pluto TV here in Canada. So maybe you're in a different area. Maybe Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, parts of Europe. Hey, send a message on Twitter or an email. Let them know where you would like them to expand into. This all comes as there's still some other announcements that have been made that we're still waiting for. Major League Soccer's coming. They announced that, but details still not been released. BBC content's coming. Has not arrived yet, but there will be BBC content coming to Pluto TV. So Pluto TV is really growing. They have a huge lineup of content now, growing every day, expanding into the very big, hot Hispanic market right now with the Spanish language channels, with their Latino version of Pluto TV. Sounds like a great business move, one we probably should have seen coming with the merger with Viacom. And the international launch. It makes perfect sense for Pluto TV to move internationally. So question to everybody here, are you a big fan of Pluto TV? What is your experience with it? Let me know. If you haven't checked out Pluto TV or all these other free services, highly, highly recommend you do that again because they're just adding so much content. CNN was just added to their lineup, so they have more and more content all the time. All right, next story of the day. So Sling TV has for quite some time kept their price at about $20, $25. And I want to say in the last 3.5 years, they've had one price hike from $20 to $25, when many of their competitors are in the $40, $45, and even $50 range now. We may have a little look behind the curtain of how they're pulling this off. It was reported in their first quarter earnings of 2019 that they have doubled its ad revenue compared to the first quarter of 2018. So Sling TV uses something very similar to what Google and other places do, that they have targeted ads based on what they think you would be interested in. So they're like, hey, he watches a lot of outdoor events. Let's give him an ad that's targeting towards outdoor videos. That means the ad you get is likely very different than what I get. Sling TV is not the only one. YouTube TV does this. I actually had somebody reach out to us recently about the fact that, hey, look, I was watching the same game on 2 devices at the same time, and when the commercial break happened, they played different commercials. How is it that I'm watching the same sports game on multiple devices with different commercials happening at the same time? And that's because of the addressable ads. Each person gets a different ad, and that's a lot more profitable for the TV services like Sling TV and YouTube TV, because instead of just selling a blanket ad where it's like, hey, I don't know how many people who are really interested in buying a new car are going to see this, but you're going to buy it and just everybody see it. Versus, hey, with Sling TV and these other services, you can buy a targeted ad that says, hey, I want to advertise to people who watch a lot of car shows, for example, right there. So this raises the question, what do you feel about Sling TV and others targeting ads to you? If it keeps your service cheaper, if you can get Sling TV for $25 instead of $40, $45 because of this, is it worth it? Or do you wish you could pay extra to not have these targeted ads? The idea that you won't have any ads is just not happening, unfortunately, because the price of the service counts in additional revenue coming from ads. So they're not going to be, unless you're willing to pay a whole heck of a lot more, you're going to have to see ads. But what do you think about them being targeted to you and what you are interested in? Maybe they're more relevant. Maybe that makes them more entertaining to you. I don't know. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Next story. Speaking of Sling TV's ad revenue, Fubo has some big plans to launch a free ad-supported service, and to do that, they're hiring away Sling TV's ad executive. So Sling TV's ad executive, the guy who bought the ads that went into those ad blocks, not the guy who is making the ads that you're seeing on TV promoting Sling TV. This is the person who is filling all the ad blocks that Sling TV gets to sell. Maybe it help if I explain this a little bit. So all cable networks have a certain number of ads per hour that the cable network gets to sell. So how it often happens, this works with radio too, is the network show sells a portion of the ad block. Then your cable network or your local TV station gets to sell some, if it's a local ABC, etc. and your cable network gets to fill in some for like TNT and A&E and all those kind of networks. And that's why sometimes there is like a placeholder ad if they fail to sell an ad block. If you ever watched a show and then you see a split second of an ad start to play and then another ad plays over it for like a local dealership or something, that's because your local TV station didn't quite perfectly time up that ad. But that's the idea, that they're selling that particular ad block. And that's how a lot of them make some of their money. Well, Fubo is hiring away the guy from Sling TV who did that, who has, by all accounts, been extremely successful for Sling TV in filling those ad blocks and coming up with good ad deals to drive traffic. So keep a very close eye on this, because Fubo TV also announced this week that they'll be offering a free streaming service that's a lot like Pluto TV. Now, don't look for ESPN or anything like that. ESPN isn't even on Fubo, but don't look for Fox Sports 1 or Fox News, etc. to come here. This sounds a lot more like Pluto TV, where you have they describe it as a collection of free services like Cheddar, Stadium, CBS News, and then channels made up of on-demand content, very similar to what Pluto, the Zoom, or the Stir service is doing, that will allow them to promote a lot more content out there. Now, this will reportedly be launching later this year. We don't have an exact date, but they did announce in the third quarter of 2019 that they are also launching something they call a 1 minute long sports break, which would be short form original content smashed between two ads. So there'll be an ad, this like original content from Fubo, which sounds like it'll be focused on sports, and then another ad to try to get people to watch ads by making them more engaging, more interesting. My question to you is, how interested are you in Fubo TV's free ad-supported service? I am a little interested in how successful this will be. The market's becoming very saturated here. You got Pluto, Zoom, Stir, and a whole bunch of other ad-supported ones. But the great thing about ad-supported ones is there's no subscription fatigue, as cable companies like to argue. There's no reason why your Roku or your Fire TV or Apple TV can't have Pluto, Zoom, Stir, Tubi, Crackle, the Roku channel, and a free one from Fubo TV. Because they all offer, sometimes they offer same content in certain areas, but they all offer original content, or different content, I should say, in each of their markets. So I'm very interested to see what they do here. We just don't know enough about this service yet to make a decision. But are you using any of these free services? Are you excited about more options? More options mean more competition. When there's competition, it makes other people work harder to get out there and do better. So leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you and what you think of these news stories. And let me know how long you've been a Core Car, how long have you been following Core Car's news? I'd love to hear from you. If you are watching this, don't forget we are giving away a Roku Ultra, a $100 Netflix gift card and $100 Hulu gift card. I'll put a link in the show notes. You have until the end of the day, Monday Eastern, to enter this giveaway. So don't forget about that. And I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, a great Mother's Day. And I hope you're all safe and enjoying some great cheap TV. So I'll see you back here tomorrow for our weekly recap, and on Monday for our return to our daily show. Take care, everybody. I will see you on Saturday for our weekly recap.